First Alert Weather Day continues tomorrow morning as we see another threat for more cold weather. We tell you what you can expect for your weekend and when you need to pull out that rain jacket next week.
Plus, we're taking you around the country to places who aren't just seeing cold weather, but get this, snow too, and how that could impact holiday travel for you with those Thanksgiving travel plans.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And so glad you are with us here for Weather Extra. Meteorologist Nia Michelle, you just love saying that snow word, right?
I do. I want some.
Yeah, well, it's cold like this, maybe around Christmas time. I don't know. You know, someone said the other day, says, I want a white Christmas. I request a white Christmas. I say, well, for us, you know, we don't necessarily request a white Christmas because we're going to be right here covering the snow. But hey, that's what we do, right? So we're covering some chilly conditions out there for tonight, and we are expecting tomorrow morning, again, freezing conditions.
Yes, that freeze warning in place. That's the next big thing.
Next big thing. That's right. Let's go to it. And all of the state here, much of the state, under freeze warnings for tonight. And typically what you'll see this time of the year, you'll see freeze warnings, frost advisories, and then they'll no longer issue these products because as we go into the end of the growing season, it's just cold every morning, right? But at this point, though, we still want to make sure that any sensitive plants are brought in, protected, because it's been just we've had so many ebbs and flows with these temperatures here lately, and it looks like even by early next week, we're going to climb back into the 70s. So hold on, right? More big changes. But this is the next big thing. Tomorrow morning, midnight through 8 o'clock in the morning, we have that First Alert Weather Day for freezing conditions. So make sure you check on elderly, check on friends, family, make sure everybody has a warm shelter tonight and the pets, and make sure everybody has a safe space tonight for those cold temperatures early tomorrow morning. But it looks like afternoon highs tomorrow will reach into the 50s, but out the door, temperatures down into the 30s, around 32 at Alabaster and Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. Outside of some of these populated centers, we will see those readings possibly as low as 28 degrees. So keep that in mind. A lot of frost. It was frosty to start today. You checked in with Megan earlier today. We'll see that again. Now, as we look ahead to next week, we're going to have a chance of rain coming back Tuesday, and I'm watching Thanksgiving Day. We went ahead. It's another First Alert Weather Day. We're seeing a lot of these, but it's another impactful system because of the chance for rain and wind, and even a risk for stormy weather could have a severe risk pop up over the region. And with that being such a big travel day and a lot of folks out and about on the holiday, just making sure you are aware and check in with us over the weekend as we do fine-tune that forecast. But for more now on those weekend temperatures, actually we're going to be checking in with Tania coming up right now. I want to go out and just see what it feels like outside right now as we go to the Christmas fun that's happening today over at Alabama Adventure. And Lauren, did I hear you say that you were counting the Christmas lights earlier?
I was. Wes, that was really a futile effort. I would not recommend coming out here and counting the Christmas lights. Instead, I would recommend coming here and enjoying the holiday spirit. So we are kicking off Magic of Lights tonight. WBRC is a proud sponsor here at Alabama Adventure and Splash Adventure in Bessemer. It's the second year for it. I'm joined now by Alex Ramsey. He is the marketing manager here, but he is also the hot chocolate connoisseur. And
right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Brought us much needed hot chocolate because, y'all, it is cold tonight. So,
right.
Alex, when people come out tonight, first of all, you can see the lights in the safety and warmth of your car.
Yes.
What can they expect when they come here?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and Christmas is in the air. It's nice and chilly tonight. Great time to be in your car with the heater cranked up. But after you go through and see the over 2 million lights, some of the displays are over 32 feet tall, just all kinds of stuff. That you get to look at from the comfort of your car. And if you want to brave the elements, then at the end you can jump out and check out everything that we have to offer on Main Street. We've got free photos with Santa, we've got hot chocolate, games and activities for everyone. Just so much to do here at the park during what's normally a pretty quiet time of the year for us, but really excited for the second year of Magic of Lights to be bringing all this awesome stuff. And really, honestly, what we've been showing tonight is a very small percentage of it. This Christmas route is over a mile long, so there's tons to see, tons to do. It's a great time to be at Alabama Adventure.
I mean, it looks great just from the little bit we've seen, and Main Street is so cute. I did run into Santa earlier, and he said the First Alert weather team needs to be on their best behavior. So we got to keep this weather from acting up on Thanksgiving, guys. But in the meantime, we're probably going to go pop back into the Rave Cave to enjoy the holiday spirit. Live here in Bessemer, meteorologist Lauren Linehan, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
And thank you, Lauren. Hey, listen, I see you enjoying hot chocolate for the second time in a row, and we still haven't gotten ours. So please bring some back this time. As we look ahead to the weekend, we have some chilly conditions. It's already cold out there right now, but freezing temperatures early Saturday morning. High Saturday in the upper 50s. We'll see some 60s and maybe close to low 70s Sunday afternoon, but not the warmest that we've seen. But as we plan out those weekend days, starting off with your Saturday, 7 a.m., 36 degrees. Any early Saturday morning plans? Pack the sweaters, the jackets. We'll see temperatures warming into the mid-50s just about 1 o'clock, but back into the low 50s just around 4 p.m. So we'll see temps closer to mid-50s for your Saturday. But again, as we approach Sunday, we're going to see a few more 60s around. 42, 7 a.m., 54, 10 o'clock, 1 p.m., low 60s there. Winds will be lighter out of the south-southwest for your Sunday afternoon. But hey, listen, it's going to be cold no matter what. But as we continue to see those cold temperatures, we want to remind you that in the east part of Alabama and all across central Alabama, you need a place. Oh, excuse me. If you're in East Alabama and need a place to stay warm, you can go to a warming station. Here's a little bit more information on it. The shelter at the bridge at Anniston's First United Methodist Church is already open and will stay open until 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Kyle Bryan is the program director of Martha's Hope and says this is an opportunity to make sure those in need have a warm place for a good night's sleep.
We have been really consistent in making sure that people have access to this, especially when it's cold, 36 degrees or below, and we're opening. We're doing the best we can to stay on that. We don't always get it right. Sometimes we miss it, but we try to monitor the National Weather Service and make sure that we can open so that individuals, especially those experiencing homelessness, have somewhere to go where they can stay warm and out of the elements.
So that is for those of you who need a warm place to stay. Again, that's in East Alabama. Director Bryan says there is a major need for meals, though. So if you'd like to help, there's a link under the story on our WBRC News app. So we talked about those weekend conditions and those weekend temperatures, but now we want to talk about North Carolina and taking you across our country where recovery efforts are continuing from Hurricane Helene. They're also preparing for wintry weather this weekend. Fox's News multimedia reporter Oliviana Calmes has more from Asheville, North Carolina.
It's getting pretty windy here, and it was snowing pretty heavily earlier. Helene survivors tell me their concern is staying warm. They're winterizing their RVs and tents in preparation. But volunteers tell me if this leads to trees falling down and power outages, this could really slow down the recovery process.
There's a big concern in general for exposure, cold weather injuries and exposure. The big piece is it going to slow down our ability to continue to rebuild and recover the area? There's going to be a concern with regards to just primary care, just access to primary care in the local area for medical. And that's going to be a challenge that we're going to have to deal with real time.
Smith says he's worried funding and donations will dwindle as time goes on. He also said he's spoken to people who don't have any more hotel vouchers. They don't have anywhere to go, so teams are working to get them RVs. Volunteers have prepared for this around the state, though, with supplies like coats, hats and gloves, and generators.
Whenever they come in to get supplies, one of the first things we ask them, do you have heat? Do you have a way to keep your house warm? Do you have blankets? Do you have winter gear?
You've been through a major tragedy. You don't want to have to just come through there and say, what do I do? And the volunteers at our camp, my wife and I, we just say, let us find you something. We'll find you some heat.
Last night, officials in several areas activated Code Purple procedures, which allows warming shelters to open up. Here in Asheville, winds are getting up to 40 miles per hour, even higher in some other areas, and we'll expect to see a wintry mix like this go into Saturday morning. In Asheville, North Carolina, Oliviana Calmes, Fox News.
And a little further up in the northeast, they're seeing significant snowfall just on the hills of record drought. Check out the scene from western Pennsylvania this morning as they saw up to 2 inches of snow in the Pittsburgh area. It was also snowing in Suffern, New York, just north of New York City. Several inches are expected to fall across the entire state with rain in the forecast as well. This all occurs as the northeastern region is experiencing some of the coldest temperatures of the season so far. We now take you to the West Coast, where over 19 inches of snow has fallen in the past 24 hours. It's so beautiful. This was taken from the Central Sierra Snow Lab in Soda Springs, California. They also saw a brief power outage overnight. That's not fun, and that's according to UC Berkeley. The snow coming from the bomb cyclone, or rapid low pressure, when low pressure drops rapidly, an atmospheric river that has been impacting the West Coast this week, which is also being called a once-in-a-decade storm, according to the National Weather Service in Medford, Oregon.
Are you ready to get your Christmas on? Finally, the weather is cool enough that it feels like the holidays. We got Thanksgiving coming up and Christmas. Yeah, the lights are up. Christmas at the Falls starting a week early here in Gadsden. We'll have all the details after the break.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. And how about the kickoff forecast for this weekend? Still looks like dry weather conditions. 50 degrees for the JSU game at kickoff with sunshine. Rice at UAB, 55 degrees. Alabama at Oklahoma, temperatures in the 50s. And look at the temperature at kickoff at Auburn, 49. So we have some more cold weather coming up for this weekend. But if you have plans, the afternoon temperatures in the 50s on Saturday, it won't be as windy. So that's going to help us out. And going into Sunday, even warmer. So let's check back in with Tania right now, talk more about some of those events happening this weekend.
Yeah, Wes, we're going to get all of our friends, our viewers, all the families out there who have weekend plans ready for those cold conditions. So here's a look at one of the events happening. This is Wagner's Tuscaloosa Turkey Trot. This one's important because guess what? It's outdoors. So make sure you're dressed appropriately. If you're running in the race and you get cold easily, maybe have some extra layers that you can take off if you get too warm. 7 a.m., 37 degrees, mid 40s though by 9 a.m., 10 o'clock, low 50s. 50-degree weather is pretty decent running weather, I would say so myself. But this is at Wagner's Team Sports in Northport. So that is in Tuscaloosa County, and that starts at 8 a.m. But there's also events Saturday evening. Maybe you are heading to the Legacy Arena. That means you have to park your car, get out of it, walk. So you need to dress appropriately. If you're heading out to any outdoor events this weekend, maybe this in Birmingham and it's not the concert, let me get you ready for it. So the event that I'm specifically talking about is the Maverick City concert. Again, it's at the BJCC in the Legacy Arena, 6 p.m., 47 degrees, low 40s by 8 o'clock. By the time that concert is over, we might even feel like the upper 30s. So just keep that in mind as you make those weekend plans. Be sure to bring out those extra layers so you can stay comfortable. But another fun event beginning tonight. It's Christmas at the Falls at Nakalula Falls in Gadsden. It promises to be a wonderland of lights and color throughout the Christmas season. There are activities for kids, concessions, and even train rides. Mickey Ferguson is on your side with a preview.
The weather's getting colder and we're getting closer into Thanksgiving. It's time to talk about Christmas lights, and we have Christmas at the Falls. We are in Gadsden, Alabama, talking about this. This is John Moore with the mayor's office here in Gadsden, and y'all decided to open this thing up a week early?
Yeah, that's right. So Christina and I were talking back about 3 weeks ago, and she was telling me she was ahead of schedule, and I said, great. let's go ahead and get it open a week early. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah. I said, you know, with the kids coming out and getting out for the holidays for Thanksgiving, it would be a perfect time to open up a week early. And she was like, okay. So she got the team together, and they have really been, you know, getting after it.
Speaking of the team, who are our guests over here?
So I've got my assistant general manager, Brandon Stevens, and then straight out of Sandrock, Alabama, is Christina Richardson. She's our general manager of the Falls.
Well, Brandon, what can we expect this year at the Falls?
Well, you can expect the mean one. We got a new animal barn down there. You can have pictures taken all over the park. We got stuff set up. We've got brand new lights, displays, figures, all of that. So hot chocolate, cookies, popcorn, whole 9 yards.
Man, that sounds fun. Now, that barn, you had a fire a few years back, and you were able to rebuild all that, bring the animals back in. What animals can we come and see?
So some new animals we have here at the barn. We have monkeys and sloths. We also have a little alligator in the barn, as well as a new aquatic room.
So as far as experiencing Christmas on the Falls, what do you recommend us doing? Riding the train or what?
Yeah, so I would suggest riding the train first, especially if you've never been. That way you can kind of see where everything is at throughout the park. The train conductor will tell you where Santa is and show you the pond light show and all of that. And then once you get off the train, feel free to walk around, check out the food vendors, grab some hot cocoa and some cookies, and go visit with Santa.
So what are the hours and how long are you open?
We are open from 4 to 10 each day, and the tickets are sold at NockalulaFallsPark.com. It is $10 Monday through Thursday and $15 Friday through Sunday.
Okay, well, the weather's just right. They've got the decorations up at Christmas on the Falls in Gadsden, Alabama. Check it out online, purchase your tickets, bring a jacket, bring a blanket, and come sip some hot chocolate, ride the train, and enjoy Christmas at the Falls in Gadsden, Alabama.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Another First Alert weather day tomorrow morning until only 8 o'clock, but it's because of those freezing temperatures. And you can see that freeze has expanded in the forecast for tonight. The entire area will see those freezing temperatures. And check it out, even areas south of us, down in the south of Alabama, possibly a first freeze for tonight. But as I mentioned earlier, check on your friends, family, elderly. Make sure everybody has a warm, cozy shelter out there, safe from this warm, cold weather tonight in a nice warm spot. The overnight lows tonight will be dropping into the freezing range. You know, we say the pets, the pipes, the plants, and the people there, the 4 Ps when it comes to freezing conditions. But there you go out the door. This is showing right at freezing around Anniston, Talladega, Pell City. I do think the outlying areas we could see temperatures as low as 28 degrees, and there will be a heavy frost there early tomorrow morning. The winds will back off, so tomorrow by 1 o'clock, look at this, we're in the 50s. We may touch 60 in a couple of areas there later in the day, especially here in West Alabama. So a first alert for some nice improvements during the afternoon. And also the wind speeds decreasing. That's going to mean the rest of the day looks incredible with sunshine. That should help us out with those comfort levels. But tomorrow night, another big drop in those temperatures on the way. So we want to give you the weather extra here on Extra. And I want to show you what's happening with the pattern out there and how this is going to change and lead into some stormy weather as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday. We've got this upper air trough across the southeast, and this has allowed that colder air to be channeled in our direction. They actually had snow last night across the Smoky Mountains, but notice how the pattern here starts to flatten out again as we go over the next couple days, and that ridge is going to allow those temperatures to rebound. And also we're going to see more of a southwest flow by the middle of next week. That's going to bring moisture, bring rain chances back. At this point, we're kind of in an in-between period. We go from the cold to calmer conditions tomorrow, not as windy, and then into the day on Sunday, another cold start, but afternoon highs will reach into the 60s. And here it comes, that next chance for rain. You see it right there. That's in the early morning hours on Tuesday. We could see first chance for rain early next week. It won't rain during the day Monday or during the day or most of the day Tuesday. It's early morning, but then as we get into the Thanksgiving day, there will be another big rainmaker and enough instability to where we could see a couple strong storms. So we have called another first alert weather day for Thanksgiving for another impactful system. Hopefully we can back off on that, but at this point, looking at that 10-day forecast, rain looks likely. And the big question, when we see some of those showers linger into that following Friday, there's a chance some of that wet weather, it may take a little while to get out of here during the early morning on Friday. But notice the improvement up to 74 degrees there on Monday. Big change in those temperatures, Tania. And we're going from freezing tomorrow morning back to 70s on Monday.
Oh yeah, and this means that we have to prepare all of our viewers for traveling in this type of weather. So let me pull up some of those travel forecasts. This is one showing you for Sunday. So those of you getting a little bit more of an earlier start, hitting those roads, maybe even flying, you can see what areas have precipitation, and really across the U.S. it doesn't look too bad. There could be some snow and some wintry mix for parts of Denver, Colorado, areas just around Montana. But are we surprised? It looks like the biggest rainmaker is going to be against the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest, seeing some snow up in Washington and parts of California and Oregon. But as we look at air travel delays, so if you're up in the sky, well, I'm not seeing major delays for areas that are seeing that moisture or that precipitation. We've got some minor delays around the Montana area, Fargo area, down towards Denver in Colorado, and some minor delays also down towards Texas and Oklahoma and even Arizona or Arkansas, excuse me. But we're seeing some more delays and maybe even a few moderate delays up to the northeast, parts of Boston, Massachusetts. But as we look again for the next day, this is on Monday, we're going to see a better chance for some rain pushing through the Midwest, impacting Illinois, Indiana. We have Kentucky and Tennessee and all those areas seeing some moisture through. But we can also see a few showers here as well as we approach Monday. We talked a little bit about that. And you see where those delays are at. Well, they're moving through the Midwest. Minor delays stretching from Minneapolis all the way down to Dallas and Texas. So giving you all that first alert. And then lastly, Tuesday, if you're heading out a little bit later, well, it looks like the bulk of that wet weather that moved through the Midwest should be out of here, but still seeing some wintry mix and maybe even some snow for parts of the West Coast, and travel delays on Tuesday. Generally, the biggest delays for the Northeast. So that's a quick look at that travel delay forecast and really just travel forecast in general. But we want to keep you prepared, and we'll continue to throughout throughout next week. Some kids in West Virginia couldn't believe it when they stumbled on a prehistoric treasure right at their playground. Clayton has more.
At Talcott Elementary, one second grade teacher shares his love of local geology with his students, encouraging them to find cool rocks so they can learn to identify them. One day, he discovered 2 of his students had found something a little more unusual than your typical gravel.
I came in my classroom and found a large rock on my back table with dirt and mud everywhere, and I said, who made this mess back here? And I had 2 boys that said, we think we dug up something pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Liam and Wade also love geology and digging around in the school's playground, where they discovered a rock with an unusual design on it.
Just digging for rocks and fun. And fossils. But then Wade found this, and we thought it was a rock. Then I pulled it out the ground, and Wade found it. Yeah, I helped you dig it out.
When we were kind of washing it off, I noticed it looked just like a fossil that I already have in the classroom. And I said, boys, I think you found something big here. I said, I have one just like this, and yours is way bigger than the one I have.
He identified the rock as a fossil of a Lepidodendron tree, an extinct plant known to grow in wetland coal forest environments. This find is more common along rivers and is a bit unusual to find on a playground. Ramsey says this has gotten his students excited about learning and may encourage them to start paleontologic expeditions of their own.
The principal might be not too happy with me because I think every kid now is going to dig up holes all over the playground now to hopefully find some more, but they'll find smaller pieces of broken ones in the general area here.
Ramsey says they plan on keeping the fossil in their classroom to let other students learn from as well.
Well, check this out. Could you ever go on a quick trip to space? Well, Blue Origin has launched its 9th human flight to space. NS-28 lifted off from Launch Site 1 in West Texas this morning. 6 people were on board the new Shepard rocket as part of the company's space tourism flight. During the 10-minute journey, they experienced several minutes of weightlessness. Back here on Earth, we have, of course, some of our weather photos, Tania, that we've been sharing, and we've had some incredible views of the night sky and the views of space, but I guess we need to look up. We may see those passengers there just flying right on by.
Right. I want to take a turn. TP sent this image in. Sunrise in East Coleman. Love to see it.
And Donna,
absolutely gorgeous.
It's so gorgeous. And, you know, folks share these on the weather app. You can also see on our website these pictures. Donna Sorensen sharing a lovely view from the sunset in Pell City with us. We had a view from Shoal Creek areas, but we're going to be sharing more of those as we continue into next week. Of course, counting down until Thanksgiving, going into this weekend, Tania. Big story right now. We've got the cold, near freezing tomorrow morning. 59 looks warm compared to 32 degrees, right?
Absolutely. So not bad for the afternoon, but still grab that sweater and that jacket.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, it's just a change. You know, we go from 70s to 32. I mean, it can certainly be a lot colder. I mean, we've seen it to 1 degree here before. So, I mean, 32, yeah.
Yeah.
Big change.
It's
all relative, right?
It is all relative. How does it feel to you? But I just wanted to also remind you, a First Alert Weather Day has been added for Thanksgiving Day next week. We're watching it closely. We'll keep you up to date tonight, first at 9.
See you tonight.